As you listen to today's episode of the show, I hope that you're able to find something to pick for yourself, something you can, apply to your own life. And if you think that you also would like to write in and have me comment on something you're struggling with, it could be in relationship, it could be in how to make money, it could be in career, it could be in something you want to do and you just want to hear a second opinion, and for some reason you can't talk to the people around you, writing. My email is on the screen right now. Keep it real with Karo@gmail.com. That's where to send your Dear Karo emails. So having said all that, let's get to today's email. Now, the email I'm going to be reading from today was written to me by someone who likes to be called Gina. And I've gone through the message and it's a very touching message, something that personally I relate with. I relate with it so much. And some of the issues she raised is something I've addressed in a previous video. So I'm very happy that she wrote in and I can give her my opinion, my advice on the issue that she's written about. By the way, if you want to write in, know that you really don't need to use your name. You can use your first name if you don't think that there's any problem with it. But if you feel that you need some privacy, you can just use a pen name. I always like when there's a name to mention. So it doesn't have to be your name. Just pick a pen name, a pet name you love or something. Just use it for your emails and that's what I'll read out. Okay, so your privacy will still be maintained. So let's get straight into today's email. I'll be reading from my phone here. It says, "Dear Karo, can I speak to you? I just need someone to speak to and pour out my mind. Right now, I am feeling so down and today is my birthday, but I am not totally happy. If you don't mind my question, where did you meet your husband?" So I'm going to be reading and answering this question. I'm not going to wait to read to the end so that I don't miss out on any question she asked. So first of all, where did I meet my husband? I discussed that in a previous video, but to answer your question, I met my husband through a mutual friend. Okay, so we'll continue now. Were there things you later discovered you weren't doing that you were supposed to do for a man to actually see you as his wife and propose? Because one of my ex, whom I loved so much, after breaking up and coming back together so many times that I had to tell him he can't continue playing with my emotions, he later went ahead to marry someone else right before me, and I felt so horrible. Now let me quickly answer this question. Now, were there things I later discovered that I wasn't doing, that I needed to be doing for a man to see me as his wife and propose to me? Personally, I never thought that I needed to change for any man. In fact, the whole idea of changing for a man irritates me, annoys me. However, if we are honest with ourselves, there are certain traits, certain characters that are problematic, that could make someone not be interested in us. And we discovering it and realizing it is not something to be ashamed of. You are not changing for the man, you're just improving yourself, becoming a better person. And yes, there were things that I later discovered about myself that I knew if I didn't work on them, they were going to be problematic in a marriage. And of course, I wanted to get married. I made that discovery myself and I worked on them for myself. In fact, I had started working on all this before my husband and I even became a thing. I mean, romantically. We're friends. I was working on all that before things changed between us. I worked on them. He saw the changes and then probably thought, yeah, this girl, she is more wife material now. But I never encourage anybody to change because they want to get somebody. However, for two people who are in a serious relationship and they intend to marry someday, there will be need for some adjustments on your side and on his side for things to work out, because two people coming together were raised in two different backgrounds. They've gone through different life experiences that has molded them, shaped them, their thinking and actions. And some of these things, when you now bring it into a relationship with another person, it could be problematic. So yes, some changes needs to be made and both parties need to discuss where they are having problems. What do you have problems with? What does this one have problems with? And then make that adjustment. Anybody that is serious with you will tell you the areas they are having issues with you. If they intend to take that relationship further, they will open up to you and tell you these are the areas that, I think you should work on. Now, generally, what responsible men want, and I say responsible men, not men who just make mouth up and down. What responsible men want across the globe, men across the globe, are four things. One is respect. Respect is key. Two, they want to feel needed, right? Three, they want to feel appreciated. Four, they want a woman who can hold her own. You've probably heard someone say that, I want a woman that, if I get into trouble someday, financially or otherwise, I can call her, I can go to her, and she would take charge, financially and otherwise. So a woman who can hold her own is what a lot of men want. That's generally. Now, if you bring it down to just Nigerian men, there is one more thing they will add to that list, and that is the fact that they want a woman who will be their ride or die. And be careful of men who use that word ride or die, because there are men that want to put women in situations where they are abusive, where they are cheaters and all that, and these women continue to stay with them. And that's very common among Nigerian artists. Anybody you see quotes, oh, she has been by my side. We've had different times where different celebrities have, when praising their wife on the internet, said she's been my ride or die. I've done this to her, I've done that to her, I've done that, I've done that. Basically, you just saw a woman that allowed you to abuse her and not do anything about it. That's how I see it. So be careful if somebody tells you that, they want a woman who will be their ride or die. Usually, there are no good intentions to it. However, yes, you can still be someone's ride or die in a good way. For example, you met this guy, he has goals, he has dreams and all that. You willingly offer that support, emotionally and otherwise, that he needs to be able to, get to his goals, get to his dreams, get to his ambitions, whatever those are, as long as they are legitimate and they are something that would make his future bright, and you now included, make you guys future bright. Yes, ride or die, you'll be there through thick or thin. But ride or die in a way that a lot of men look at it is built on huge selfishness. Me, what has she done? I did this, I did this, I did that. I want to get away with it. I want her to give me money and I don't spend on her at all. I want her to this, I want her to that. So be careful, okay? So I think that has answered that question. So we'll move on now. So I'll pick it up from the top of where I stopped so that it would make sense, right? Because one of my ex, whom I loved so much, after breaking up and coming back together so many times that I had to tell him he can't continue playing with my emotions. He later went ahead to marry someone else right before me, and I felt so terrible, asking myself if I wasn't good enough, or is there something I am not doing right? I am sorry to bother you. I just wanted to talk to someone I don't know before so I can pour my heart. I have never felt so bad on my birthday like yesterday. I turned 35. I felt empty, like I was rejected by God, wondering where I got it all wrong, and to think I am not a bad person. And I know I try my best to live right. These words, this last paragraph, was me some years ago. I relate to everything she said. In fact, if you watch the video I did on finding the joy in waiting, which I'll put the link here now, you see that my story was exactly the same, how I felt, rejected by God and all that. So that I completely understand. Now, your feelings are very valid, in the sense that it is not easy dealing with loneliness at a certain age. So what you're feeling is very, very normal, especially when you don't have a lot going for you at the moment, when you don't have anything you are chasing at the moment, like a goal or a dream in front of you that you are trying to reach, other than the fact that you're 35 and single. Maybe you have a job and you are contented with the job, right? So it makes this like the next goal, the next dream that you want to reach. And usually when you are in a situation like that, it's definitely will overwhelm you, because that's all you think about, day and night. So my suggestion is be patient, right? Anybody that you try to make it work with, and you are honest with yourself that you did your best in that relationship and it didn't work. In fact, by your own words, you said that you kept telling him to stop playing with your emotions, meaning that this was somebody that was doing things, you didn't get into detail, but obviously that was doing things that you felt were hurting you. It wasn't protecting your emotions. He didn't care about your emotions, right? So you kept breaking up with him for that reason. I always say that when somebody tells you who they are or shows you who they are, believe them the first time. So don't start feeling bad because he's married now. So you think that maybe you should have settled for less, or maybe you should have, even if you had done all that, there was no guarantee that he would have still married you. Marriage is only worth it if you're doing it with somebody who takes you seriously, who is really in love with you, who intends to protect your emotions, who intends to make good effort to make you happy day in, day out, right? So it's not just about getting married. Please, we have to make sure that we are getting married for the right reasons, not just because of our age and not just because, oh, time has gone. My recommendation is find something else to fill your time. And let's not kid ourselves, because people say that a lot, they focus on something else, regardless of how you focus on something else, you will still think about it. So I'm not going to kid you by telling you that if you focus your attention on other things, it's going to make this go away. No, it will always be there. It will always be there, but it will just reduce the intensity of it. It would help you not feel so empty, like there's nothing else. Without a husband, your life has become useless. No, it's not true. And trust me, I know you're a good person. Most people who are single in waiting are good people. They've tried relationship, they've given their best. People have used them, people have stomped on their feelings because they keep wanting to please. Maybe this one will be the relationship that will work. Maybe if I just, bring my standard down a little bit, maybe it will work. Maybe if I just don't speak up so much, maybe it will work. You understand? You start to change so much for somebody, something you can't maintain. Because one thing is to marry this person, but another thing is to now live in that marriage with this person, which a lot of people who have gone down that route have realized too late that it wasn't to their best interest to have ignored the red flags and change who they were just so somebody could marry them. So I think I was able to cover all your questions, and I'm so sorry you are in the situation that you're in, but please draw strength from my stories, draw strength from my happy ending, and just hold on. Your time will come. And please let me assure you that God has not rejected you. God doesn't reject anybody. In life, we all face different situations, different burden that we carry. Some people have permanent health issues that they will struggle with for the rest of their life. And somehow they are able to find a spouse very quickly, right? You look at them and you think, oh, but you forget that other burden that they carry. Your body might just be this, what you're struggling with at the moment, and not health, right? Which is much better. And another person's own could be something else. Somebody else could be married and they are looking for the fruit of the womb. So there are different struggles that we have, and we must not see it that God has rejected us, or that it is God punishing us. Trust me, God is not punishing you. It is just how life is for now. And whatever challenge it is that we are dealing with, we just find ways to cope with them, especially things that are out of our control. And finding a spouse, the right spouse, is one thing that we really don't have much control over. There are certain things that will happen when they happen. You can't force it to happen. It will just happen when it will happen. And I hope that it happens for you soon, okay? And for everybody dealing with one burden or the other out there, just know that sometimes tough times don't last. Tough people do. And when they do, They come tell their story and use their story to inspire others. Your story, Gina, might inspire another woman tomorrow. Sometimes we don't know why we go through these things, right? My story now is what I used to inspire and encourage every other woman out there. And that's what probably you've heard that made you reach out to me. I wanted to hear from me, right? Sometimes we don't know why God allows us to go through what we go through. Okay, so on that note, I'll wrap it up for this episode of the show. You here watching this that is not Gina, I hope that you were able to pick one or two things from everything I've said to Gina. And if you like to write in, like I've said, you're welcome to do that. The email is keepitrealwithcaro@gmail.com. And also you can leave a comment for Gina as well, what you think. You can also encourage her. That's the whole point. Okay, let me know what you think. Also, I welcome you to, if there's something you want to tell us about your life at the moment that you're struggling with, if there's something you want to say to encourage someone out there, please leave me a comment in the comment section. And if you're yet to subscribe, please do subscribe. This is a community I am building of strong, determined women who've been through a lot but will never give up on chasing their goals and chasing their dreams. That is the community that I'm building here, and I hope that you join us and you participate. Okay, so until the next one, bye.